Hello everybody, welcome to Om Saram YouTube channel. Hope you are all doing well. Today, through this video, I would like to share some tips about how to speak English well and fluently. I would like to share some tips for extraordinary fluency. Kindly keep watching till the end and give your comments or feedback to encourage me. Do you want to learn how to speak English well? Are you also looking for a shortcut to English fluency? We don't have tricks that will give us perfect English in 5 minutes a day. It cannot be learned over a night or in a day or two. But we do have solid tips that will help us learn how to speak English more fluently in less time. Here are some tips that will help us speak English better than ever. Learn what it means to be fluent in English. You know that you want to become fluent in English, but what does that mean? There are two parts to fluency: knowing the language and knowing how to produce the language. Being fluent means that you can use the English language comfortably. You can communicate freely and you can have conversations with native speakers without having to constantly look for help. Fluency can also be seen in how you speak. You can know plenty of English vocabulary, but if you have to pause or repeat a lot when speaking, your fluency might not be so obvious to someone. If you speak very slowly or in a very flat, unemotional manner, then you won't sound very fluent either. On the other hand, sounding fluent doesn't mean you actually are speaking good English. To be fluent in English, you need to master both the language and how you speak it. There must be perfect balance. There is often an expectation that you must know a certain number of words for fluency. But it's equally important to remember that you can't just study the words and grammar. It can be scary, but you will also need to practice actually speaking. The tips that I am sharing will help you master how your speaking skills so that you can speak proper English and sound good doing it. Don't forget how important both features of fluency are. Set specific goals. Fluency is a very high level to reach and will take a long time to achieve. So becoming fluent can be a pretty unclear goal. Having such a big, non-specific target would be helpful in planning out your studies. That's why you should think of more concrete and obvious goals that can lead you to fluency. By themselves, they may seem like small steps, but all together, they will provide a steady path in your English learning journey. Good goals should be specific and achievable. When setting a goal, you should decide exactly what you want to learn and how long you want to spend learning it. And I'm sharing some examples of good goals. Learn 30 new English words in 30 days. Just a word a day. It's not a burden. Have a conversation with a native English speaker every week, if possible. Perfect your pronunciation of 10 words over the weekend. Make sure that the goals you set are reasonable and challenging enough to keep you motivated. You want to achieve your goals without overstressing yourself. Accept that English is a weird language. Sometimes you can find patterns in English grammar, but other times English doesn't make sense at all because it's a non-phonetical and irregular language which you must keep on speaking regularly in order to get mastery or proficiency over the language. For example, Y or READ pronounced read in present tense and read in past tense. The same word has different pronunciations in present tense and past tense, but said differently depending on whether you are speaking in the past or present tense. Or why is mice, M-I-C-E, the plural of mouse, but houses, H-O-U-S-E-S, is the plural of house. Why is PUT called as put and BUT called as but? These are the specific rules that we must be particular. Unfortunately, there are many exceptions to English rules. It's easy to get stuck on learning how to speak English properly. If you try to find a reason for everything, sometimes English is just weird. So that best thing to do is just memorize the strange exceptions and move on. Then the rules of English language, but you must also know the exceptions. Both are equally important to do well in a particular language, such as English. Studying English for an hour once a week isn't usually enough to make any real progress. The best way to quickly improve your English is to spend at least a few minutes practicing every day. There is a special language learning method called immersion. With immersion, you try to surround yourself in the language as much as you can in your day-to-day activities. You want English to become part of your daily schedule so that you are frequently learning and practicing until it becomes natural to hear and speak the language. You can create immersion in a lot of fun, creative ways, besides just constantly studying English from a book or a course. You can switch your phone settings to the English language. You can start watching and listening to English movies and songs as well. Keep an English diary or volunteer in a place where English is required. Immerse yourself in English as much as possible every time you study. Challenge yourself to listen to, read, and even say things in English that you think might be too difficult for you. If you think to speak English fluently, you need to make it an essential part of your everyday life. Stop being a student and start thinking in English. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who is learning English and start thinking of yourself as someone who speaks English. It's a small change that you have to incorporate to progress, but it will make you feel more confident and help you to better use the English you already know. This also means you need to start thinking in English. If you want to say the word apple in English, for example, you probably think of the word in your native language first and then try to think of the correct word in English. Instead, try imagining a picture of an apple and then just think the word in English. Real fluency happens when you stop mentally translating conversations. This is the biggest step from learning English to just being an English speaker. Get more out of listening. Listening is the first and the foremost skill to learn a language. When most students listen to native speaker, English speaker, they focus on understanding what all the words mean. This is definitely important. But there is a lot more you can learn from listening. Try listening not just to what the words mean, but how the person says them. Notice which words the person links together in a sentence. When they say yeah instead of you. Try to remember these details in the next time you speak and your English will begin to sound more natural. Use it or lose it. This is a wonderful rule to get fluency. There is an expression in English, use it or lose it, which basically means if you don't practice an ability, you might forget it. This idea can be used to help you remember new English vocabulary. The best way to remember a new word is to use it right way so that it stays in your memory. When you learn a new word, try to say it in sentences a few times over the next week and you will be less likely to forget it. Learn and study phrases which are essential to speak a language fluently. Speaking English fluently means being able to express your thoughts, ideas, feelings. Your goal is to speak English in full sentences, so why not learn it in full sentences? You will find that English is more useful in your everyday life if you study whole phrases rather than just vocabulary and verbs. Start by thinking about phrases that you use frequently in your native language and then learn how to say them in English. Don't study grammar too much. Don't focus on grammar much. The key to learning a language is finding a balance between studying and practicing. Speaking English fluently isn't the same as knowing perfect English grammar. Even native English speakers make grammar mistakes. Fluency is about being able to communicate confidently, clearly, distinctively. That's why sometimes it's important to put the grammar textbook away so you can go out and practice those writing, reading, listening and speaking skills in the real world. As you keep practicing, you can learn plenty of grammar rules along the way. Learn intonation, body language and gestures. True English fluency is about more than just vocabulary and grammar. If you can figure out intonation, body language and gestures, you will really look and sound like a native speaker. It comes with a lot of practice. Intonation is the rise and fall of tone changes in how a person speaks. Body language is how a person uses their own body to support or go against what they mean. Gestures are hand and body movements that work together with what someone is saying. It's not easy to learn these three things because they seem very natural. One way to learn is to just watch how native English speakers communicate with each other. One way to study these aspects of language is by hiring an English teacher if that isn't in your budget. Another is watching YouTube videos, effective speeches. If you can avoid getting distracted with other videos, use what you know best. When you are writing and saying your own sentences, focus on using the words you are already familiar with. You may want to use more difficult, advanced English words to sound more fluent, but you should stay true to your skill level and keep practicing what you already know. Make sure that you are comfortable with the English you use, instead of just trying out new, unfamiliar words just because you want to do. Doing so can lead you to say incorrect or strange things. Of course, you do want to learn more and more words and skills to advance. I recommend studying a new word for a little while in context. In sentences and videos. Before you use it in real conversation, make sure or ensure that you are perfect in the usage of the words or the pronunciation. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Sometimes it can be difficult to put all those rules and words together into a simple sentence. Don't let the fear of saying something wrong stop you from speaking at all. Even if you think you are making a mistake, keep speaking anyway. Most of the time people will understand what you are trying to say, even if you make a mistake. We learn from our mistakes, but you better know that we don't have that much or enough time to learn everything by the mistakes we make by ourselves. And the more you speak, the easier it gets, and the faster the right words will come to mind. Keep notes on your mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, but also make sure that you understand them. When you know that something went wrong in your English conversation, make a note of it in your mind, or better yet, on paper. In your own time, study what exactly made you trip up. Did you use the wrong vocabulary? Was something pronounced incorrectly? Maybe you were using the wrong sentence or incorrect tenses in your sentences. Mistakes are unavoidable and necessary, but to lower the chances of repeating the same mistakes, you must learn and not run away from them. Learn from everyone. You don't have to only learn English from textbooks and teachers. Anyone who speaks English can help you practice better. Imagine how you would feel if someone asked you in your native language how to pronounce something. Would you be angry? No. You would probably be happy to help, just like most English speakers are happy to help you. If you know any English speakers, whether it's a friend or co-worker or your classmate or neighbor, take advantage of the opportunity to practice and learn from them. Make sure to also ask any specific questions you have and be open to feedback. Record your own English language audiobooks. When you think of practicing a language, we often think of putting ourselves in situations where we have to use language. But the truth is, a lot of confidence and fluency comes from actually speaking. This technique can help you do a lot more of that. Record what you want to learn, then listen to it throughout your day. Use the same technique described above, I mentioned earlier, to learn English in general while practicing your speech. Just stand in front of the mirror and talk to yourself as though you are talking to your friend freely. For example, let's say that you would like to go better at talking to wait staff. Maybe you see a person who is familiar with you. Instead of just reading the post and trying to remember the examples, record yourself reading it. This will give you multiple opportunities to remember that material. You can use this technique in your academics also to prepare for your examination. This works best of all when you first read it, when you read it out loud, and when you listen to yourself reading it later. Share your opinions online. To really learn English speaking, you need to learn how to express yourself in English. Even if you have ideas for conversations, it can be hard to know how to put them into your own words. You can practice this by participating in conversations online with your friends, relatives, and people known to you. Posting on social media, leaving comments on articles, or writing reviews are all good approaches to improve fluency. And I suggest you some sites also, such as Goodreads. Goodreads is a site where people leave their thoughts and comments about books they have read. Writing about books and movies is always a nice way to practice sharing your opinions in English, because they give you a lot to think about. But if you don't have time to do this, there are simpler options, alternatives. Watch a short video on YouTube of your choice and leave a comment underneath in the comment section. Post short opinions on Twitter about anything that you have come across. There are many options for practicing your English skills before you speak out loud. Learn some English slangs. While you should be focusing on learning standard English, it can be helpful or beneficial to know English slangs, words, and phrases so that you can stay current, update, and understand modern English speech. Slang is always present especially online, so you can't really avoid seeing it. Knowing slang, idioms, and other casual expressions can improve real English fluency because they can let you follow along with the kinds of conversation that happen today or in daily life. Improve your English pronunciation. This is an important skill. While there is no single correct English, if people have trouble understanding you, it will be hard for you to speak confidently. We are not native speakers, so we have a lot of confusion or ambiguity about what the correct pronunciation is. There is no magic to improve pronunciation. You just need to learn the mechanics and then practice. It's all about how you move your mouth and use your lips, tongue and throat. For this, you should watch native speakers while they are talking and observing not just what they say, but how they say it. This is an important technique to master English. Review and test yourself often. Reviewing what you learn is just as important as actually learning. Without proper review, you can easily forget a lot of previously learned material. This can greatly slow you down in your path to fluency because advanced English constantly builds upon basic, easier concepts. That's why you must frequently test your skills. I hope through this video I could bring you some awareness about how you need to improve your English, your fluency and your proficiency in English language, because you know that we are living in a competitive world. We must keep going on. We must update ourselves. Not knowing English is a handicap. You feel inferior when you are not able to speak in front of somebody or in your classroom or on a stage or in public. You may become nervous. You may become speechless when you know a lot of words, vocabulary, when you know the rules of grammar, when you know how to frame sentences correctly and meaningfully, and when all the rules are on your tips, you can really do wonders. You can excel. And learning English is just like drinking a glass of water. It's not any rocket science. Please keep or leave a comment in the comment box about this video to keep more and more videos uploaded for you. Thank you very much.